Demon in the stream. I, 23F, used to be addicted to watching content on streaming platforms. It was semester break, and while most of my university friends traveled overseas, I couldn't afford such luxuries. So I spent my time browsing trending streams from my small apartment. One night, I stumbled upon a peculiar stream. The title read, "Streaming for 10 days without sleeping." Intrigued by the challenge, I started watching. The streamer, a young man with short brown hair and dark eyes, sat at his desk in what seemed to be his bedroom. The footage was grainy, likely due to a poor webcam. A faint hum could be heard in the background. The broadcast had started a day ago, and the streamer was still very engaged with the chat. "Hello everyone. For those just joining, I'm trying to stay awake for 10 days straight," he announced. I noticed there were only about 50 viewers. I watched for a few minutes, then moved on to something else. Later, I messaged my friend Rebecca about the stream. We both studied psychology and had just finished our first year. She was back home in the States with her family. We talked about how impossible it seemed to stay awake for 10 days straight. 2 days later, I had forgotten about the stream until I saw it again on the Explore page. I clicked on it out of curiosity. This time, it was different. The streamer was standing, his head down, being gently pushed back and forth between two other people. I assumed they were keeping him awake. His body was limp and lifeless, like a puppet without strings. They whispered to each other, trying to keep the audience from hearing. The usual hum was present, but there was also a repetitive clicking sound. I felt uneasy and decided to stop watching. 3 days passed, and again, I found myself lying on my bed looking for something to watch. The same stream appeared, now titled, "Help Me, I've streamed for 7 days straight." I clicked without thinking. This time the streamer stood alone, his head bent forward, staring at the ground. He swayed slowly. There was no clicking, but I could hear the wind blowing. Before I could leave, Rebecca messaged me. We chatted and I mentioned how strange the stream was getting. She agreed it was weird, and after some back and forth, she went to bed. I wished her good night. I clicked back to the tab. The stream opened, and there he was! The streamer was at his desk again, but this time he was staring directly into the camera. His face was pale, and his eyes were bloodshot, with dark bags underneath. Slowly, the corners of his lips curled into a wide grin. "Hello, Jane. How are you?" he croaked. Follow for part 2.